Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Today is very exciting, introducing a new vehicle to the channel. So after searching for about 3 years constantly, finally we found the newest addition to the channel, which is a 2003 Subaru Baja with a 5-speed manual transmission. This actually ended up being the hardest car to source for the channel yet. It was something that we decided we wanted a few years ago, so the search went out and I was searching across the country pretty much daily, but conservatively at least once a week, specifically for a yellow manual transmission Baja. So for those of you that don't know them that well, the yellow color was only available for the 2003 model year, and I think in the 3 years of searching there was probably only 3 or 4 others that came up, and they either sold instantly, weren't really that good, or were in a location that was just didn't really make it feasible to get to. But this one came from Florida, so it has very minimal, actually zero rust on it, which is what we were looking for. Unfortunately, that is kind of the Achilles heel of these. They have certain areas in them that are not really well suited for corrosion prevention. So in this video, I'll just give you a walk around the car, talk about it, and then I'll do my normal inspection, try and find out what's going to need to be done to it to bring it up to 100% mechanical standards, and then long-term cosmetic stuff will be ongoing. Obviously this came from Florida, so the paint's not perfect. Like, these plastic fenders are pretty sun faded, but that'll be easy enough to get to a much better condition, something to do a little bit further down the road. So without further ado, I'll walk around the car and then start looking at the mechanical stuff. So like I said, the car is a 2003. It's in the yellow color. Yeah, so the Baja was the Subaru's Ute. Came out in 2003, only lasted to 2006. Surprisingly, they only sold 30,000 of these over the entire run, which I think was their original goal of what they wanted to sell per year. And like I said, the yellow color was only available in 1 year. So relatively rare car, specifically with the manual transmission. We did ask ChatGPT like how many yellow manuals there were, and it said only 300. I'm not sure really where it was getting that data from, but yeah. So obviously it has the tonneau cover, and yeah, it's in pretty good exterior condition as far as like there's no dents or anything. Obviously the paint is pretty faded from being in Florida, but the interior on this is absolutely immaculate. I honestly don't really know how it standed the test of time as well as it did. I guess someone really cared for it. I mean, honestly, we talked pretty extensively with the person we bought it from, and they were a super enthusiast, so they definitely looked after it. This is the area that they're known for rusting in, so obviously there's no issue there. Yeah, the interior is just incredible on this. I guess it's a little bit dusty, but yeah, aside from the shift knob, everything is original in here. Definitely want to find a new shift knob. That's not the most aesthetically pleasing one I've ever seen, but yeah, interior is definitely one of the high points on this car. Exterior wise, like I said, like, it's straight. It just definitely needs some paint correction. Obviously the headlights here need to be restored, but with that, let's get it up in the air and we'll start looking it over mechanically and see what parts are going to need to be ordered for it. All right, so I have it up partially, and I just want to test the tie rods, just the steering. There's no play there, and wheel bearings, no play there. Definitely going to need front brakes. The rotor itself is pretty rusty. There is a lip on it, and I can just see the pad is pretty far gone there, so that's not a big deal. Shock doesn't appear to be leaking. So the dust boot has fallen down, and same thing in the rear. No play either direction. The like rubberized coating that they put on the body is definitely failing. So I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'm not sure if that's something you can spray on, or it might just be spraying with fluid film and hoping that it doesn't rust. So I'll definitely look into that. Rear shock here looks pretty dry, but I can't really see. And the rear brakes look fine. They have a little bit of life left in them, plenty of pad left, and the rotor looks fairly new. There's no lip on it. So here at the underside, everything looks actually surprisingly pretty good. The rear diff is probably the only place I see that has any rust on it. These sway bar link bushings are toast, so I'll make sure to order some of those. Rear CV boots look good. Doesn't look like there's any leaks on the rear axle. It's covered in oil here, but I'm assuming that's from when they actually placed the diff oil. Shocks again look pretty dry. Kind of hard to tell, but and as far as all the rear bushings back here, I mean, these lower control arms are just starting to crack, not something that is immediately urgent. Overall, everything looks pretty good. And inspecting the front, so the car, some of the driving stuff we've been having with it, there is like a bucking kind of under acceleration, which I kind of noticed when we first got it, but it seems like it's been a little bit less prevalent. So I suspected that possibly transmission or motor mounts, but they actually look fine. There's no cracking in that, and then the motor mounts are pretty hard to see, but I already looked at those and they're not cracked either. It's kind of weird that these like back control arm bushings, like it looks like there's oil coming out of them, which is weird. I don't know why it would be coming there, because there's nothing forward or above it that has oil on it. That's a little bit confusing to me, but I don't see any active oil leaks anywhere. Transmission is dry, engine is dry. Yeah, CV axles look like they're in good condition. One thing, looks like the boots for the ball joints are bad. And of course the ball joints are in the knuckle, so that looks like it'll be fun to replace. But I mean, overall, for a car that's coming up on 22 years old, or is 22 years old, and with 138,000 miles, it's surprisingly good actually. And here's a look at the 2.5 Boxster engine in the Subaru Baja, and again, everything, I mean, just from a like grand overview, looks really well kept. Like obviously you can tell the spark plug wires were changed recently. I mean, it's definitely clean under here. There hasn't been any recent oil leaks. Yeah, and then the one thing I wanted to do, which I did off camera, is even though I have really good service history of this, and I do have history of the timing belt and water pump being done, it was only 50,000 miles ago. It is getting up there on age. So I did want to look at it, and it looks perfectly fine to make it another year or two. I was really just determining if it was something that I had to do immediately, but looking at it, I think it would be fine to wait another year. I already have two that I'm doing this winter on my Acti and on my Land Cruiser, so I was really hoping to avoid doing a third timing belt. It's not my favorite job in the entire world to do, and it looks like this one will be fine to go a little while longer. So like I said, I don't really see any rust. I do think I need to do a brake fluid flush on them. I do the brakes because that fluid looks pretty dirty. I've looked at some of the other fluids and everything looks pretty clean. Like I said, the owner of it was very thorough and shared everything with us. So it was one of the few vehicles I am purchasing and not immediately doing an oil change on it myself. So one issue that we have been having is with the power steering. So when you turn it like to full lock, we are getting basically the pump to kind of seize up and the belt to slip and squeal. It's only when you go to full lock. Honestly, I'm kind of baffled on this problem. I've researched a bunch, done some troubleshooting, and can't really find anything. I did find one smoking gun that I thought it was low fluid, because it looked like there was level in the tank, but it was actually just stained on the container and there was no level. And then I added level and then the level went way high. So I think there is a potential that there's air in the system, and these hoses, and there's an O-ring here, are known for leaking. So I'm going to try that first, because those are cheap like parts to try. And then if that doesn't fix it, unfortunately, I feel like the issue is probably the power steering pump or the relief valve on the power steering pump. And Subaru actually put out a technical service bulletin about the relief valves, and for a while they sold the relief valve separate to the pump, but now you can only buy it as a whole unit, which is like $400. So it's kind of unfortunate if that's the route we're gonna have to go. It is a little bit fortunate that it like only happens when you turn it to full lock, so you can just avoid going there, I guess, but it's something longer term that will need to be addressed. But yeah, everything in here looks pretty good. So I think I'm going to put the timing cover back on and button everything up. I did check the filters too, just because it was easy to open. The guy definitely was honest, and that had been replaced recently. So that's a wrap on this episode. We're definitely super excited to have this Subaru Baja around. I'm not going to say a lot, but some decent amount of parts to be ordering. I think those lower ball joints, rear sway bar links, brakes, and I can't remember what else, but nothing too crazy as far as stuff that needs immediately done, and then just get it going forward with hopefully just routine services as they come up over the years. But overall, I think it's actually in pretty good shape and nothing too urgent that needs done on it. So next time I'm going to definitely start working on those items. Hope you guys like this episode, and see you next time. Bye.